Okay, back again. Another video, another live. Today we're doing another a reaction video about feminist versus anti-feminist. This one girl, she went beast mode on this dude, you know. As they say, she was passionate about, what she was talking about. Yeah, so all right. So with that said, we're gonna get into it. This is gonna be a good one.
In March, a girl was a 3-year-old girl. You have no control over what a woman decides to do with her body.
Is no longer about equality, it's about hating men. In 3, 2, 1, go.
Just go.
Our fastest fingers were Sally and GD. Please take the podium.
I'm in the middle of that, and why I would say that is because I definitely have friends who would choose to be feminist. Just yesterday I had a conversation with my friend, and she believes herself to be a core feminist, and I don't have a problem with it, right? The people that are the loudest in feminism are the people on Twitter, and what are those people pushing? Maybe that's not what the person that feminism or the ideology stands for. However, the loudest people always have the loudest influence.
Okay, so can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Where has hating men gotten us to?
I think hating men is profitable. It generates lots of engagement. Viral. The platform love it, right?
If you have friends who are core feminists and you're very comfortable with them, you're comfortable to still be around the same space with them, why are you taking the view of what is being seen on Twitter as a general view for everyone? You're saying, oh, the loudest have the most impacts. Yeah, I can agree with that to some extent. But you also have to agree that we don't just wake up one day and decide to start a fire. Something ignited that fire. And however way we want to...
She already going hard now. I think I think this is Nigeria. I'm not too sure, but I think it's in they call Join the Cruise. I think it's a podcast show that they do in Nigeria on YouTube. Okay, so uh, he said a key point where he thinks feminists does just basically join the team. They've never even been in a situation for them to be feminists, but they'll just follow suit other females, or as I say, have the gold code, the girl code. And I think women do that a lot. Um, they tend to defend other women or basically take on another woman's dramatic experience, even though she never experienced it herself. And for some reason, in her mind, she's experienced the same thing. Um, I don't even know why women are so passionate about being feminists in the first place, because the very thing that makes them of to make them who the very thing that makes them feminists is actually not good for them. It's actually not, because the thing that they're fighting against to be feminist is the same thing that they need to survive. Is the same thing they need to sustain their lives, or to basically put things in place for them to live, and basically have the convenience in their life for them to move forward. Matter of fact, women would not be known to even exist in a feminine mindset. Not at this scale. Maybe one or two females might feel that way, but even those one or two females will still have to, ponder to a man's leadership, or his control, or his hierarchy, or whatever you want to call it. The reason why I'm saying that is because if we backtrack the way how humans came to where we are today, and the development that we have, men gotta control men. Yeah, men have to control men. So, in order for basically by doing that, it keeps women in a safe place. A lot of reason is women end up being with men for the social construct of protection. Naturally, a woman will seek out a man out for protection, right? Especially if you have good status, right? She will go to him for protection. So the same, like I said, the things that they're fighting for in terms of feminism, it doesn't really make sense. Now, the equality part of it, I'm not 100% on board with it. I think they should have some kind of equal opportunities to do certain things, but in terms of like working or whatever, if they wanna if they wanna make some money equally to men, if they're doing this, if she's doing the same job, but if she's not doing the same job and she can't perform the same way, then she should not get paid equally. You know what I mean? Um, what else? She's very strong about it. Let's go. Let's keep going.
The fire is nobody's business. If it gets our voice heard, then our voice will be heard. And you can't say hating men. There are things that have happened. There are stories you see come on Twitter every day, and you're filled with rage. Why? Because a man is the perpetrator of
Hold on.
that.
GD, please go back to your seats. You've been voted out by your teammates.
So I'm Great in Wisdom. Short is GD. I work in marketing. I was on the anti-feminist side. Feminism makes us view life like, oh, life is all about oppressing women. Oppressing women exists. However, the truth remains that life is wider than that. I wish I could come on this show and not have a side. Younger people tend to go towards these media sources. At the end of the day, people thought on the internet to influence. As much as you call me out and say, oh, Twitter is not real life, bro, people that are just framing their own view of the world, right? They've never experienced these things. That's what they read. They're on social media, right? So those places matter at the end of the day.
Salama, you pick a new
Put their life in.
You can come forward. No, you can start.
Feminism right now is more of misandrist. You can't just say that all men are this, all men are that, and whereby you can't say all women are this, all women are that. If someone doing something bad, it's human based. It's not about a gender.
But when we speak about certain things that are being done, looking at the statistics, who is the perpetrator of this thing that's being done? When you hear of cases, do you think, oh yeah, a woman did that, his mother did that? So when you hear of certain things, you can't just assume and say, oh, it's not a gender war. It is a gender war when women are losing their lives every day. And we're not looking at Nigeria at large. We're talking of everywhere. You don't hear situations of a woman beat her husband up. So even you staying here, you don't know who is going to do whatever to you tomorrow. So you standing on the opposing side is an insult to women in general.
Hold on. Salama, you've been voted out by your teammates.
I'm Sally. I am a law student, writer, voiceover artist, amongst other things, feminist. I can't ever imagine myself not being on a team that supports me and gives me access to be more than I currently am. As a woman, you need to see that in your day-to-day activities, being a woman alone cancels you out. Being anti-feminist, you fail to realize the struggle you face because you're seeing it as normal. But when you view it from a standpoint of being a feminist, you can then see that, okay, this is structurally wrong. See, men do not toot their horns for women. Do not toot your horns for a man. Because at the end of the day, they will leave you dry in the desert. So don't come and be saying, International Men's Day, men are not speaking up. What happened to their mouth? Speak for yourself.
Like I mean, maybe she had some bad experiences, but we're not gonna focus on that because everybody have different degrees of experiences. Some of more, if anything, I would say most of us have, could relate to a lot of experiences. Now, one thing I disagree, and I don't think women should do, is speak in a general scope. And then she mentioned about women being targeted and beaten and stuff like that. Everybody have emotions, right? That's number one. Just like a woman have emotions, a man have emotions. And sometimes, when a woman emotions get disturbed, she tend to react and try to hit and do whatever she can to alleviate her feelings. But if the man do it, his emotions should be oppressed, and he should be able to control himself so he don't respond or act with his hands. Equally, they're both hitting each other. It doesn't matter who's hitting harder, who's hitting softer. I think we need to stop putting one over the other because a hit is a hit. You know what I'm saying? Um, and sometimes, women use objects to hit the man with. So I disagree with that part. Uh, but I do agree in some cases you do have men out here do take advantage of the women, and the thing is, women always focus on those minute, small, segment of people. When the majority, that's not the case. The majority is most women cause more problems, most what is it, initiate most of the drama, or put themselves in some environment where damage can be done to them when they could just walk away, or basically leave the man alone. Especially if the man is telling her to leave me alone, leave me alone, leave me alone, or he's trying to leave, and the woman progress and still continue pushing his buttons, and then when he respond, then it's his fault, and that happens way more often than anything else. Uh, I guess she's focusing on also to the economy, the way her money is flowing, in terms of women superiority versus man superiority. I mean, naturally, men are naturally stronger, bigger. We also have a more stern way of living and logical way of viewing things in the real world. So of course the man gonna have more leadership and more structure because he's following the logic of the world, right? And if you don't follow the logic of the world, then you just a lost cause. Like if you look at the animals follow their logic. They know they live based on what they know. They don't try to go outside of what they don't know. Now, do they do things outside of what they don't know, or things that they come across experientially or accidentally? Yes, that do happen. Yes, animals do act strange out of their environment. But is it normal? Do they stay that way? Do they, you know what I'm saying? Is it majority of them? No, it's not. So that means that part of that line is a unique or dysfunction. The same thing for humans. We have a structure where to live in a natural state of law. So meaning that nature's law, right? So when a woman is trying to mimic or pursue herself to be strong or big and interrogate, or initiate fights with a man, it send a different signal to the man that she's a threat as another male, and then he's not gonna react to her as a male. But then when that happens, it's a problem for the male. But women don't realize that. For some reason, they ignore the power in men. So if anything, I would say women are the problem, and women are the one who's living up to their natural state of mind. Now, I'm not saying that women should just lay down and let men do whatever they want, but men check men. You know what I'm saying? If I would say this, if I hypothetically, in a situation, if there was a daughter of mine and she had a boyfriend, I would tell her to keep her hands to herself. If you do have a problem with your dude, sit down and have a conversation with him. You don't have to rush to the conversation. You could basically wait till you have a good moment to talk about, or basically wait till your emotions is in check, and then you have a conversation with about it. Don't just rush to it. Don't let your anger take control, because he can dominate you. He can bully beef you. He can bully beef you. You know what I'm saying? So, but what a lot of people do, they don't even hear the daughter side. They don't even hear, the man side or whatever the case is. Just quick to assume that he just did something wrong, and I think that's really unfair. Men get killed. This is the next thing she's not understand. And this is something that feminist women do. Now, she mentioned about who create most of the wars and all these dysfunctional things that happen in the world. That's a fact. Yes, some of these things do happen. But guess what? Men conquer worlds. Yes, a lot of it have to do just ego and control. But guess what comes with it? Whenever they conquer a lot of these locations, these land masses and stuff, they take the women and children and they kill the men. They might keep some of the men, but predominantly they take the women and children. specifically the women. For what reason? So they can populate. You know what I'm saying? If it's shown in the Bible that whenever a group of men or a tribe of men is lacking women, they go out to other tribes and kill off the men and take their women. You know, so that's another issue right there. Let's talk about being a hierarchy or whatever. Now, I you know what? Let me end it there. Let's go. Let's keep going. Let's keep going.
Stand for your side.
Moyege, pick a new opponent.
So I'm going to talk about
Yeah,
what
hello.
she said. Men are the people doing more. You are talking about men, women. Do you know men do get by women too? Do you know that men do get by women too?
When men come out and they
True.
say they get assaulted, they say it in a very jokey manner. But with women, it's very personal. Even when men come out to speak about their abuse, their fellow men are bringing them down. So you need to pick a side, and you need to be on the good side, so that whenever anything happens, you have the support of women beside you.
I really do love how much you're trying so hard to make sense. I'm not going to say I'm actually disappointed in the fact that you think this, because I really do think a certain level of somebody's intelligence is what makes them pick a side. However, there was something you said that was very interesting that caught my attention that made me want to have a conversation with you, and that was misandry. Now, what do you think misandry is?
Hate on women.
So now, hate on
Hate
women.
on- yeah,
now,
sorry, hate on men.
Give me an example of how women have hated men in Nigeria, and ask me how misogyny has been perpetrated in Nigeria, and I'll clearly tell
Thank you.
Now, give
She
me
can't
a
answer
practical
that. She has
example.
been voted out.
My name is Lawal Moyege. I'm also known as Big Mo. I'm into art, I'm into fashion, and I'm into content creation. What I've seen in today's world about feminism, it has lost its essence. It's no longer about, we are fighting for women's rights, we're fighting for women, but it's more about, we're hating on men. This was not the main purpose of feminism.
Please
This is
pick a
on
new
point.
opponent.
So let me hear from you. So
asking a
I was saying something. For every single month in 2024, a woman was killed. For every single month. I would love you to mention the months, and I'll give you the names of those women. In January, a pregnant woman for 7 months was killed by her husband. Imagine you're married to somebody, because I'm very sure you're of the school of thought that yes, marriage is every single thing, right?
No,
and you
I'm
happen
not.
okay, you're not.
Don't
Okay,
make
that's really
assumptions now.
beautiful, seeing that you do not support feminism. In February, 12 girls were killed in Bono. In March, a girl was a 3-year-old girl. This is misogyny, and I would love you to point out misandry this same way. In April, a woman was again. I think this was in Ogun State. In June, another lady was every single month. This thing exists, and again, it has also been proven fact by UNICEF that a woman leaving her parents' house to going to get married, that's the most dangerous place for women today. So please, when you guys say misandry, for example, I call you that you're mad. Is that what misandry is? A lot of you do not understand the meaning of feminism itself. Most of you just pick a side. Most of you just see something, see it from one point, and automatically go with.
Okay, look, homeboy, yeah, he just ranted, man. He said he asking a question, but he's just giving a whole dialogue. Like, come on, ask the question. I was waiting for her to respond. I mean, he do make some good points. That do happen, but there's always a but. You know what I mean? There's a lot of young boys and that get masterized by males, and a lot of males get masterized by women. And some of these men, they're not strong enough, or they might have a weak mindset to push back or fight back. We don't talk about those men. Those men get bullied all the time, pushed around, beat down, locked in business, or the guy who go to work and she just take all his money and go be with other men while she taking his money, and she don't even give him the satisfaction of sleeping with him or making him feel like he's the man. You know what I'm saying? So women do this thing all the time. Women get men killed just the same. For whatever, for money or cheating, or most cases it's money, but whatever their reason is, or robberies, all these different things. So, and that go from any age. It's just that we don't talk about these things. Do happen, but we don't emphasize on what women do to men versus what men do to women. So if the misogyny is basically picking on men about everything that a man does, he's basically talking misogyny right now. Like, man is the one who's doing everything. We do all the crime, whether it's true or not. It's always focused on the man, and that's misogyny right there. Because women do it too, but we don't be talking about it, or the men that they happen to be embarrassed to mention anything about it. Or matter of fact, if you see a man getting bullied by a female, we don't turn around and shame that woman or whatever. We shame the man and we tell him he needs to stand up and defend himself. But then if he defend himself, then we're gonna say no, you can't do that. So at the end of the day, men are the one being pushed into misogyny more than anything, no matter how we look at it. I'm not saying some of the things that men do is right. What I'm saying is we are blame whether it's good or bad, or even if it's not our fault.
It's
Okay. So we don't disagree on what the problem is. I'm not going to answer your question because that's not my stand. What has talking about it ad nauseum done?
I'll tell you
about
what has talking about it done. But the thing is,
Pause. We're going to pause there. Our teammates voted her out. You can
Yes.
now pick a new opponent.
You're not even allowing the woman to speak.
I really do not think feminism today is about hating men. It has never been. Hatred is a normal social construct. Anybody can hate anybody. I can hate you now without anything. I really cannot lie. When I walked in, I really did not like your persona. You were so big. Now, that's like normal. Does that mean I would now term it as I hate muscular people? For that reason, we should make it a word. So we get it that, yes, some people could be vulgar towards
that's
men,
what
but
women
we
do.
cannot compare that vulgarism. It's really like two different things entirely.
Oh, okay. So I will come in by saying, first of all, I am not against women. I'm just anti-hypocrisy or anything that wears the umbrella feminism, especially in Nigeria. The Nigerian idea or perception of feminism is a totally different one. You talked about misandry. I will tell you, in 2023, Nigerian domestic violence and sexual DSNV or something like that recorded over 430 victims. And these are just
The one seeing it. All right, it said the Lagos State Domestic and Sexual Violence Agency and related organization in Nigeria actively document and respond to sexual and domestic violence cases. The available information indicate that although there is no public official report explicitly stated 403 cases of men sexually abused in 2023, sexual abuse of men and boys is acknowledged as reason by serious concerns, and that. So as I see that's I just said that a minute ago. I just said it's basically misogyny if men do men are the accusers or not the accusers, and it's become misogyny on both sides because if the men become the bad guy, like say he's the one who's creating a lot of crimes towards females, fine, he's gonna be dealt with like severely. He might even die, right? That's on the male side. If the male is the aggressor, right? Now, that's just a crime. On the female side, if the female is the one that aggressing the male, right? Whether based on any age, because they said men and boys, any age from the time from the time the boy was born to his whole adult age, the women would be doing. I think women do the most, honestly, because men are disciplined to. We are forced to discipline to treat women a certain way because other men is gonna check us. We might even get killed, especially if you have brothers and fathers and uncles. You will get killed. So we are forced to operate in a way that we don't get killed. So I say it's more misogyny on the female side because whether the men do bad things or whether he do good things, the women is still gonna chastise him and come at him as if he's the bad guy, no matter what. You know what I'm saying? So that proves exactly what I said a minute ago when I was saying that when he was talking the first time, and I was saying misogyny works on both sides, right? But I think women are more misogynary because even if the man is going through a lot of torture and terror from a female, sometimes we don't even he don't even mention it because men is gonna make joke at him, especially if the woman is good looking or she might have a lot of money. The first thing they're gonna say is, "Dude, man, you need to man up. You got such a nice looking woman. You need to man up. Like, how you got this woman treating you like that?" And if you do respond, then they're gonna blame him and say, "Why you hate her? Why you got a good looking woman? Why you gonna put your woman such a do?" But if you flip the situation and then the man is doing it to her, in most cases that dude is gonna get beat up, put in jail, or he gonna die. You know what I'm saying? So, or he could lose his jobs. Like, mad things gonna happen to him comparing to what happens to a female. So I think the whole feminist message that conversation shouldn't happen at all. And she's right there, the short girl, Makobe or whatever her name was, the little short black girl. She's right about one thing. The feminine movement have gone so far from the rights to uplift women and make them have better education, have good jobs, be able to go to work, be able not to be judged, of having children, but try to be in a stable home and having a career, having become business owners, all of this good stuff. It's gone far from that to where we just want to control whatever men do, or we don't want men in our environment, but we want them to do whatever we want them to do without telling us what to do.
I think your partner. And I'll tell you something. Over 80%, not my statistics, you actually check, over 80% of men were sexually abused by older women. So now, let me give you another. Hold on. And I'll tell you something. Over 80%, not my statistics, you can actually check, over 80% of men were sexually abused by.
Let's read that side note again. Fact check. A comprehensive study of sexual violence amongst Nigerian adolescents, so we're talking about young kids, okay, found that sexual violence is prevalent, with about 70% of boys reporting some form of sexual violence since the age of 12. But the majority of perpetrators are peers that other adults, not specify older women. Peer source, Global Public Health, February 2025.
Older women. So now, let me give you another. Hold on. If you are talking about equality, why don't we treat pedophiles, like we call them, for men? Why don't we treat women the same way? I have a friend. He was by 3 girls. There is this girl we know. A couple of times we met at auditions, and she was like, "I live alone. You can come and stay in my house." And he went. They drugged him. According to him, he said it was not so effective. And the next thing, they point out the gun. There are 3 girls living in the room, self-contained or whatever it is, I don't know. And this guy. Now, if a man comes out to tell you, what do you say? You don't enjoy him. Or they'll tell you, how woman go hold you. You not be man. You hear words like that, and it's crazy. It's said 80% of men face this single thing. Are you trying to...
See, and that's what I just said too. Like that, those things happen all the time. When women tend to hold a man down, she rush him, because if a man was to do that, you'd be like, I didn't really want to do it, but because he seems so adamant and so aggressive, I was scared, so I just let him do it. But in this case, for the man, she literally put a gun to his head. You know what I'm saying? Like, men go through the same process too. He might be too tired, he might not be in the mood, whatever, but she'd be forceful, and she tend to go do things that he don't want to done. He's just like, whatever, just do it because I don't want to have the drama. I don't want to fight. It's still in the same. My thing is this. This is a very touchy topic conversation between male and female, and we need to. I think we need to go back to our natural sense of way of thinking, because we are putting too much sensitive thoughts and a lot of these natural emotional things that we supposed to do. I'm not saying the fault like this. There should be a concrete difference between force and coerce or pursued. You know what I'm saying? Because if a girl, for example, and the reason why I'm saying like this is for a reason. For example, right? If there's two guys, one is ugly and one is not ugly. The guy that's ugly, the female is gonna give him a hard time. He might not even be able to say hello to her, right? But he gonna walk up to her and say, "Hey, how you doing, baby? Love to see you, looking good." She's like, "Boy, get up my face. I'm not in the mood." Or she can say, "I got a boyfriend. I don't need to talk to you." Or she could just ignore him because he's ugly. But here come the pretty boy. Might not even look like he have a job or whatever, but he looks, he look like a pretty boy. And he said, "Hello, baby, how you doing? Looking good." She gonna smile and say, "Oh yeah, for real." She gonna give him the attention. Next week he's holding her hands and hugging her and stuff. That's really unfair. Now, what they're gonna say it's a double standard or it's just something we have to deal with. But the point is this: if we know that women are picking and choosing how to treat men, and the men that she don't like could actually get killed or go to jail or get beat up, we shouldn't always take what they say to vain. And that's another problem as well. The women that take advantage of these situations, they put women who are really going through some real situations to vain. Because there's women who have real situations that can't be taken seriously because a good majority, I'm not saying majority, but a good benefit of the females are mimicking these behaviors and falsely blaming men or falsely taking advantage of men and mistreating them just because they could get away with it or to their own benefit. So women who go through real problems, we gonna like the men gonna look at her like, how we know you telling the truth? Because she did it, and she only did it because dude was ugly. So how we know dude said something to you very foul? How we know he's bothering you when she just should prove that this dude didn't say anything mean to you, or he just trying to get your attention, but your response was he's bothering you. But then, and the pretty guy came instantly, right? Like, within 5-10 minutes later, you didn't tell him the same thing. You didn't say the same thing to that dude. You know what I'm saying? So it's really unfair for how women to treat men, and then they get away with it, and then they generalize men in this box, but still pick out the men that they want to deal with whenever they want to deal with them. And that's an unfair situation.
Because they're facing this thing, women should not speak for them.
I'm trying to say you are saying equality, right?
Yeah.
And I'm telling you that
and when has women said men shouldn't speak for men? Okay, men has been blah blah blah. Continue, like.
Okay, hold on. Let me tell you.
Why do you guys have issues with feminists when they want to talk about women?
Let's talk about family and court bias. Hold on. Hold on. Let me tell you something. There is no law.
Hold on. He has been voted out by his teammates. Please choose a final teammate to round off this prompt.
Welcome. Oh,
Right.
welcome.
Thank
All
you.
right. So what I was saying earlier is when a man is accused of, is actually charged according to the law.
Yeah.
But there's no working law that has a penalty for a woman that is a man. They'll tell you women cannot actually physically, whatever it is that they target.
Okay.
Let's read the fact check. All right, so the Violence Against Person Prohibit Act 2015 in Nigeria, most progressive law address sexual violence. It provides a gender-neutral definition of rape as the international non-sensual penetration of the vagina, anus, or mouth by any body part or objects, including men as victims, as women as perpetrators. The act prescribes service penalties, including imprisonment for 12 years to life. Violence against persons prohibited act. Let's speak about whatever the source is, the national legislatures bodies. Okay, I pretty much think you guys can see the rest. All right, let's go.
But if you are preaching equality,
Yeah.
how about we can also, face these women who are committing these crimes the
Okay.
same way the men are facing the law?
Okay, thank you very much. And I'll say something. Under the VAP Act, violence against, people, it provides, for women, for men who are abused, although it's not tagged as, but then it's also abuse, sexual abuse. So I'll counter that by saying that. Now, the prompt says feminism is no longer about equality. It's not about hating men. I believe strongly that is just a distraction from the main thing, right? Misogyny exists, misandry exists too, but misogyny is way higher than misandry.
What prompts that?
The statistics say it.
There's always a reason for something.
How women are being treated. Hating men.
All right, another fact is academic research article highlights that Nigerian women experience higher prevalence of domestic violence, sexual assault, and physical abuse compared to men with more than 27. See, I disagree with that.
Is there. I'm granted. I know that there are some feminists that, are vocal about it, and, that narrative.
What I've noticed across the world, women report things more than men do. And that's understandable because, hey, it is because women get more pampered than anything. They got more women's services than men do. But then there's more men homeless and going through more tyranny and stress and even committing suicide than women do. Does not that mean that men have it harder? Like, how backwards is this system for them to put women on a pedestal and then say y'all want equality, but then men are getting the worst out of the pie? But yet we don't want to have to work for y'all. We don't want to have to put our life on the line for y'all. We don't have to take risks. We don't have to hold all the stress in the home just so you don't have to be stressed out, and keep your mind at ease, so we could have you to a full, so we could have you in a full stable mind, so we don't you could be peace in the house and all that good stuff. So men, we are holding more weight than women think. Like for some reason, like we do, but women don't see that. They don't see that at all.
Is out there. However, we cannot, because of that, shift away from the main focus of feminism, which is equality. So right now, equality is what we're fighting for. It's what we're standing for.
Let me ask you a question.
When our voices are higher, when we speak more, and we educate more people about the main reason and the main purpose for feminism, man-hating narrative will be shifted aside, and we can focus on the main purpose.
First of all, what you just explained is fantastic, but I stand to be corrected. The Nigerian perception of feminism is not what you explained. One. Secondly, I want to ask a question. You guys are after equality or whatever.
Yes.
Do you believe men and women are equal or can be equal?
Yeah.
How?
Equality does not mean we're the same thing. Equality does not mean
equality.
Sickness.
Beautiful.
Equality means
let's talk about
equality means the same.
Let's talk about the huge amount of extortion on men who wants to get married. Let's talk about the huge amount of extortion.
Listen,
in Africa, marriage survives on the man's bride price.
You are stepping out of the prompt.
Hold on.
That is not what we're talking about here.
Equality.
This is what he's hitting nail on the head. It doesn't matter to me. The whole bride price thing, I know is very popular in like Asian countries, the Middle East, Africa. I say it's the same everywhere. Even in America, yes, we don't go to the door with the money, but we should be able to, how should I say, have proof or express our income for the woman to even feel some kind of satisfied by it. Or, you know what I'm saying? Cause the conversation is that if you're going to look for a man, or if you're going to be with a man, he have to have a good job. He have to make, meaning that he have to make a certain amount of money. He have to see himself doing something in the future. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's the same as if you're using the word extortion, it's the same thing. If you really think about it, it's the same thing. It's like men paying. It's like the American Diary is based on how much money he makes. right? And even if you have just assets or whatever, in Nigeria or in other countries where they have to put diary, it's a representation of what you have or what you could afford to determine if you can take care of the daughter or basically buy. Well, you don't want to use the word buy, but it's a sense of showing that you can take care of the daughter. So it's the same. Yeah, I agree with him with that. It's almost like bribing. It's like men are being bribed to be with a woman based on his income.
Oh, let me why is come to the conversation?
Time up!
That's a fact.
My name is Sharon. I'm a final year law student, a writer, and I am a feminist. For a while, I kind of struggled with, the label of feminism. Just because, there's some people that practice misinformed feminism does not mean that, there are not others who are still focused on the main aim. The vibe I got of Mr. Rudiman, I think he has internalized misogyny.
300,000 subscribers. We appreciate. In 3, 2, 1, go. Sally and JD, you're the fastest fingers.
I don't think I fully buy into that, but the fact that you don't buy into something doesn't mean it doesn't exist. However, we can clearly see that there are certain things that people are more predisposed to do than the others.
Based on what?
I mean,
Who decides
Give
that?
me an example. Cooking. Predisposed to who?
you have to let me finish.
Okay, finish.
When I say people are predisposed to something,
Yes.
I mean, for example, I don't know what you do,
Okay.
right? But a career path could be good for you, but not good for me. I mean, not everybody can be doctors.
Fair
not
enough.
everybody can be lawyers. There's a thing that people actually say that the other gender is quite emotional. Excuse me. So I don't.
gender?
Wait, hold on.
We don't have
Okay, so I think homeboy needs to be a little bit more like he could have said doing oil rig work or doing construction, you know, doing rigorous things. You know what I'm saying? Or steel milling type of jobs like that. You gotta lift up heavy steel and stuff like that. Doing skyscraper jobs. So women, and that's a continuous stressful job because women, their body's not built to go heavy like that, and then they don't last long doing it. And not only that, too, it takes a longer time for women's muscles to develop compared to a man. So, and then not to mention they got the period. Not to mention the emotional. So every day is a struggle mood for a woman. You know what I'm saying? So, for a man, we tend to keep things regulated and we just go do what we got to do and we keep it moving. Even if it doesn't affect us in a certain way, we still can paralyze those emotions and feelings and we still do what we have to do. You wouldn't even know or tell if the issue is there, right? But then we can do the jobs that they don't want to do or they can't do or they would never do. You know what I'm saying? So, and here's the thing, even though let's just say the woman speaking about equality in terms of jobs or gender roles, as we said, they can do what the males do, then do it. So now, instead of complaining about men not making enough money or men not, emotional or whatever the case is, you do what the men's supposed to do then. You pay the bills. The man could stay home and watch the kids. And that's it. You know what I'm saying? Let's switch the roles. Since y'all saying the gender role is not a big deal, or men and women can do the same thing, and we shouldn't have no problem with it at all. Then the women should be able to do what the men do and have no problem with it at all. A man would take care of a woman for the rest of her life, her entire life, and she might not even have sex with him regularly. She still don't satisfy him regularly. She probably don't cook on a regular basis, right? She might even have a side dude, right? And in some cases, he might know, he might not know, or have an idea, he might never know. But the bottom line is, guess what he's gonna do? He's still gonna take care of her if he's in love with her, right? And that's the thing. These are things that women struggle with or they will never do. You can't say you want equality and complain that their gender roles are not a thing, but yet when we say, okay, fine, do my part and I'll do yours, it's a problem. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's really unfair for women to talk like that. If they're not going to put themselves in the man's position, don't talk about it. Don't even add it to y'all agenda. Just leave that part out of it. I just think Homeboy should have been more direct in that way. You would have put her more in a corner because she would not be able to respond.
Hold on. So I'm not talking about it from the standpoint of it being a bad thing that women are emotional.
You didn't specify what gender, so I'm not going to assume. So what gender are you talking about?
We only have, I don't want to say that, but
What gender are you talking about? Help me out. You said the other gender. You said male or female.
The genders we accept in Nigeria.
So gender is the emotional one.
Okay.
Say it. Now you bring him. Talk him now.
Hold on, please. Really appreciate that.
There's no buzz you.
Hold, picking your opponents.
Please, Suits, come forward.
Oh boy.
Before you continue what you need to say, I want to make you understand something. First, yelling does not mean you're winning an argument.
Okay.
Secondly, I'm sounding like a naive person who wants to understand what you believe. So you educate me now, right?
Okay.
Go ahead.
If you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
I'm in my early 30s.
You're in your early 30s. You don't need me to educate you on gender roles. You don't need me to educate you on feminism. You don't need me to educate you on anything. For you to come here, you...
Okay. She already started off wrong. Stuff like this, from the minute she started talking like that, I probably been like, okay, I'm gonna go back to sit down because if anything I say, she's not gonna pay attention to what I'm saying. The reason why I'm saying this is like some people are in a tunnel vision. No matter what, if you notice how she was treating young boy just a minute ago, no matter what he said, she's not gonna hear him. She don't want to understand him. She's not even gonna want him to. She's just not gonna hear him. She's not gonna care to understand him. Homeboy just said something very important to just keep calm and just think, talk slow so we all can have this good conversation. And she straight to start just demasculating him, straight to start demasculating him as if like he's not a superior to her. And then the reason I'm using the word superior, if he really wanted to get over the table and smack her ass and make her sit down, he can do that. And I'm not saying that's what he should do. But what I'm saying is that's like me walking in a room and I'm having a conversation with a dude and I'm going at him and raising my voice and getting violent or whatever. A homie will be like, yo, you need to chill. You know what I'm saying? We don't need to go that route. Like, I know I'm not big enough to beat this dude. I'm not doing that. I'm chilling. I'm going to chill because I don't want to get my ass whooped. You know what I'm saying? But for women to act that way is only show the biasness and the protection that they have because they could treat a man anyhow or be bruteful to him because you know why? The surrounding people is going to say he's wrong. When he's right. He's 100% right. He gave advice. And everybody, and if he do decide to smack her for her being so disrespectful, they should have said, well, yo, he told you to chill. Like, you should have calmed down. He was a very quiet, honest guy. So you should do the same. And that's one of the gender disquality. That's one of the gender differences right there. I can literally dismantle you if I wanted to, due to how you're talking to me. You know what I'm saying? But then they're not gonna give him credit for that because she's a woman. She's gonna get away with her bad treatment.
Of a phone. You have eyes to see what's going on in the world. I would not educate you. You're a grown-ass man. You know fully well what's right and what's wrong. That's why you chose that side. So you cannot tell me to educate you on anything. I think it's very uncultured of you to come on a show like this and not have an idea on what's happening on both sides. You have lived over 3 decades. When you see our reactions to certain things, you should just know off the bat that, oh wait, for this to provoke such a reaction out of this person, then it means it's something much more deep-rooted than we're seeing it to be. So I'm not going to educate anybody who's also not open to learning.
I'll ask you a question again.
Fine, ask.
Are men and women equal?
That's not the prompts. I'm going to ask you a question going by the prompts. Because
When you answer me, then I'll go ahead with what I'm
see,
saying.
if you don't answer, they will boss you out. Another person go enter.
We are not even
It's
fighting.
not hard. You
We are
don't reach
not
that
fighting.
one, please.
Let's have
So
a
going by the
conversation.
prompt, gender roles. So let me ask you, what is your perception of gender
Are
roles?
men and women equal?
What is
Question.
your perception on gender roles?
You can't answer my question
That's
with
in the
The
room.
prompts. What is the prompt?
Listen to me. Wait.
You cannot bring a prompt from what you had before and change the entire prompt. What is the prompt?
Calm down, my darling. Let me tell you
I'm not
something.
your darling.
Wait.
Stop it.
Wait.
Are you joking? Who's your darling?
Let me tell you something.
Please buzz me out.
Oh my God. Yo, this is crazy, dude. You're about to get trash. You better leave that girl alone. She gonna be smooth on you, boy.
Are you joking? Who's
Let
your darling?
You are triggered. That's okay.
Who's your darling?
you.
Don't go there. Oh.
You've been voted out by your teammates. Sally, pick a new opponent.
My name is Paul Rudiment. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I own a bodyguard team. I'm a professional
Yeah,
travel
they
entertainer.
definitely
I
don't
grew
like this
up
dude.
with 2 sisters and I have a mother. I can't be talking ill of women. I love women. I'm a makeup artist and my clients are women. The Nigerian feminist idea or movement, their umbrella is flagging around. Their flag is everywhere. And what they're after is fighting men, trying to yoke equality with men. Just irritated by the things I see online. It's all about bitter women. If he can't send you money while you're in the relationship, you are not there. A woman also works. We are equal. What if a woman is working, the man is supposed to bow, and all of those shit. It gets me really pissed.
Really, man, as a person, I think he's a bloody fool and a misogynist. Women should stay clear of him because he doesn't even see you as an individual. He sees you as a property. He already has the textbook appearance of a
I
misogynist.
mean, this is gonna sound really cruel as well. I know people don't like to hear it, but it's a true story. This is why I don't really push the ideology in terms of the biblical concept, because in the biblical concept, if the man, in the Bible concept, the woman is the man's property. If you're a religion, if you're into religion, every woman that belongs that with a man, she is his property. The reason for that is because when God took Eve from Adam's rib, and he also stated that she is my blood of my blood, she's my rib of my rib, she's from him, and he must have full dominion over her. He have he said control over her. The word is rule, right? He said he Adam should rule over her. So that makes her his property. God said that. If you don't believe what God say, then y'all should stop saying that. I mean, y'all should not be Christians. And I want to focus. I should a topic about that specifically. Cause that rulership concept right there, God said He took a woman from Adam's Eve and made her into. He took a rib from Adam's Eve and made her into a woman, and it comes to pass that it came to pass that woman would be, blood, the blood of man's, she'll be the flesh of the man's flesh, the blood of the man, blood of man's blood, and he should rule over her because she is his supporter. She's his woman. She is him. She's part of him. She belongs to him, right? She comes from him. So he controls her. He owns her. If that's the way it is. That's what the Bible says. And then he goes on into, I think it's Numbers, I think it is, where they talk about when women have certain distant behaviors or whatever the case is. He said the husband can punish her. He can give her a slap. You know what I'm saying? So there's things that like I said, the Bible, and here's the thing. The working part, women do work. The Bible they have gender rules, of course, but men can wash and do all these different things as well. The only reason why men don't be prone to washing and cooking and stuff like that in most cases or a lot of cases is because the men have to go out and work. And when he come home, he don't have time to do a lot of these things. You know what I'm saying? But when and that's where the woman comes in. She can take and control that part of the physic, the workload, where he don't have to do it. But guess what? Like I said, if y'all want equality, let it switch. Women can now go out and work, and the men can now stay home, or they both can work, right? And she work more hours or however you're gonna go. But at the end of the day, she could be she doesn't make her the. And here's the thing, not because she's making the most money, it doesn't make her the man of the house. She's still the woman. She's still the woman of the house. You cannot try to dictate who a man is. You're still gonna be a feminine woman and do what you're supposed to do. And the reason why I say that is because if a woman go to work without a man, unless she have children, she still go home and take care of her children by herself. Or if she live by herself, she still go to work and pay her bills by herself. So if the man is involved, and the man could go to work and take care of her, and she don't have to do anything, or she has to stay home and cook and clean if that's what she want to do. And cooking and cleaning is not an everyday thing. It's the same concept for a woman to go to work and come home and take care of the man, and most likely, he'll be able to cook and clean or whatever the case is. And they shouldn't have a problem with it. So I think she need to relax. She need to relax.
And this is not me trying to stereotype.
What she need to find a man that will put her in that position. And if she refuse, she don't care about equality. And she'll be a full definition of misogyny, because she don't want to portray the caretaker or the supporting system to where she's supposed to make sure things are working a certain way, versus where one side should do this and another side should do that, because she don't believe in gender roles, so she shouldn't be complaining about it.
Or we do have to believe that there are stereotypes that people fall into. At no point did I use any tone of endearment for him. But then you going ahead to call me my darling, I don't know you from anywhere, really, man. It just goes to show that even when men are explaining things to women, they're talking to a child. We're here equally, together.
I asked a question you are not answering.
Hey, please, you've left.
Why is she being dramatic?
I'm a woman, according to him.
Okay, so gender roles do exist for a reason. Male energy is different from female energy, and they are predisposed to certain things. Now, what I do not agree with is they must be upheld. Different things work for different relationship dynamics, and that is one of the core issues I have with feminism, because it kind of shuts out every other opinion. Every other dissenting voice is just, you shout over them, it's not valid, and all of that. Now, some women do like to be trad wives. They want to stay home. They want to take care of their families. They want to do all of that. That is perfectly fine. There's absolutely no reason to label them pick-me's, regressing feminism, betrayal to womanhood. That is the rhetoric online a lot of the time. If you're really about choice, then you will acknowledge the fact that femininity exists on a spectrum.
Before feminism came into play, there was no trad wife. You didn't have an option to be a career woman. Feminism fought against the very thing that happened, which is being a traditional wife or a stay-at-home wife. Now, they fought and won, yes. But you also have to admit the fact that there are certain choices that even you, with a very clear eye, you cannot say that this is the right choice for you. Now, I'm not against anyone choosing. Let me land. I am not against anybody choosing whatever works for them, but you also need to have a plan B. I would not see my sister choose to be a housewife, and I would tell you, okay, I think this is the best choice for you. I'm coming. I let you speak without interrupting you, so please let me do just that. Thank you very much. Please, I'm not talking to you. Anyways, I would give my sister options. You want to be a housewife, but be a housewife that is not fully dependent on your husband. You have something to fall back on. You're not starting from the scratch. You're living your life for something. You're exchanging your life for something.
Listen, that girl, she has some serious issues. The lady just told her people have a choice to live the life that they want to live. She did mention that before feminism, women didn't have a choice to live what type of child life or whatever the case is. That's a lie. There was always different dynamics of relationships prior to feminism. You know what I'm saying? There was always different. Matter of fact, just to be clear, a lot of this feminist movement only got supported because you know they kind of win by a slide, but it's not like every woman voted for this. Yeah, I mean, they're making it seem like every woman voted for this. I think it was like a 45, 50 something, somewhere around there, 45, 54, 45, 55, 56 or something like that. You know what I mean? It wasn't, it wasn't 50-50. It wasn't 80, you know what I'm saying? And the movement was about, money wise, having credit cards, being able to, go to work, stuff like that. But then it slowly switched to where it's like, we don't like men type stuff. We don't need men type stuff. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of that was pushed by a lot of the LGBT movement as well, right? So this whole child wife thing, or women who want to stay home and be wives, that was a common thing. That was not an uncommon thing. It was a very common thing. You know what I'm saying? So she's not being honest about that.
Being a mother is not the biggest fulfillment in the world. You can be a mother.
Being
It is.
Old Salama.
being a mother is one of the biggest thing any woman should do, because that's the main thing that she should do. Being a father is one of the biggest things any man should do, because that's the main focus of us in this world to do. Men, human beings are not here to do some genius scientific, like that's not our functional natural desire of this world is to just create stuff and build. No, our natural function in this world is to do things just like animals does: procreate, eat, and die. You know what I'm saying? That's those are the main things that we're supposed to do. All these extra things we do in terms of education and all that stuff, those are good. Those are attributes that just help us sustain ourselves so we can live in a more immoral, homo, decor mentality way. You know what I'm saying? Those are behavioral um, achievements, right? And education play a part. Learning about science is important because you got to try to maintain your body, understand your body. To become doctors. All these things are very important things, but those are things external to the main functional behavior of what humans are. All basic uh, access to this world, or basic mood for this world, or makeup, is to survive. And to do that is to procreate. And also to live in groups, you know what I'm saying? And then within that, then we can build houses and do all these extra things. So she need to take a ring check on that. Our focus is not the opposite of creation. 'Cause we have nothing else to do. You know what I mean? That's the only thing. If we focus on everything else but creation, there wouldn't be no human beings here.
Been voted out by your teammates.
I am a radical feminist. I do not necessarily believe in choice feminism. How are you upholding the choices that we fought for to get to this particular place?
If you are against some women and their choices, it's very patronizing for you to say that these women can't have come to those decisions by themselves. That in itself is ironic because anti-woman. There are different kinds of women and they all have the right to express their femininity in their own way, in the way that comes naturally to them.
Nia, pick a new person to debate.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm inclined to agree with some of what you said. I do believe that the gender roles exist, but I don't think that it should be enforced for everybody. Where I disagree with you is you talked about the pick-me's on Twitter. There are men on Twitter who want to uphold the structure that is, which is patriarchy. They want a wife that would
I mean, there
So
are women,
are we
women are
agreeing
even more
are we
intellectual.
agreeing that there are gender roles, however, it shouldn't apply to everybody? Are we agreeing
That
on that?
was what I agreed to earlier.
Okay.
I was like, I drift more towards the fact that gender roles do exist. The fact that I don't believe in something does not mean it doesn't exist.
Pick a new person to debate.
Okay. All right, so I'll go with it. Okay, welcome. So I saw that your teammate earlier brought up the patriarchy, and I have like a major point for that. Everybody comes and speak online and say, oh, the patriarchy, is the patriarchal system that is ensuring that, oh, women are oppressed. What is the patriarchy? The way anybody will view it is like we have a certain number of men at the back there and thinking, oh, I want to
Let's
hurt
read
a woman
this
today.
side note. A fact check, I would say. It's a Nigeria is widely described as a patriarchal society where men held more power in the politics, family structure, and economics. Evidence includes a unique inheritance rights. It's a low feminist representation in the government and culture practices. Man, I think I'm losing my eyesight. Practices for that male authority. However, some argue that women are against influence in business, activism, and politics, and that the traditional Nigerian culture also give women important roles in family, trade, and spiritual. What I would say about that is, this is just not a Nigerian thing. This is, to me, this is all the way around thing. And like the guy was saying, they were talking about choices. A lot of women don't want to do a lot of work, and they might want to do it for a short time, but they don't want to do it consistently, or be responsible, or want to have the responsibility for it consistently. That's something I've learned, and understand that women don't, especially speaking about this feminism and gender roles or situation, right? As well as patriarchy. Some women, it's almost like the feminists want control. They want control without controlling, but with the ability to do whatever they want to do without consequences. That's, to me, that's feminine. That's the number one feminist high point description for me. They want control, right? Without being controlled, right? And do whatever they want to do without any kind of like punishment or any kind of like shaming or anything like that. They just want to do whatever they want to do without any kind of penalty. No type of pushback. That's feminist 100%. And the thing is, even though other women are choosing to go with men, because here's the thing, feminists call themselves feminists, but yet they still want to be with a man. They still want to be in a man's position. They still want to have a man's full ability to be a man and do leadership things and do the gender role things, but yet they don't want to be uphold to their specific gender roles. So it's the same thing like I just said. They want the man to be a man, do what he's supposed to do what they expect him to do the whole hierarchy mentality thing, but don't act like he have a hierarchy. But then in her position, she don't want to do what she want to do. She want to do it how she wants to do it, but you can't tell her nothing. But if you are not following your step, like for example, if a woman was to find a guy and he don't make enough money, or he decide he only want to make a little bit of money, or whatever the case is, it's just not to her fixing, her liking, she's gonna leave him. She's moving off. But if he say, yeah, okay, well, you need to, cook some clean or be more sensitive here, da 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 da. Oh, you control, you trying to tell me what to do, you know? Double standards, man. They're trying to live in a double standard life where women have all the control, without any pushback about her control, and they want to do all the wrongs and rights without any penalty.
I think that they hold on. So at the end of the day, it's not actually the patriarchy. There's a system that doesn't favor everybody, and it's fine to say, oh, let's go back to the constitution, oh, let's talk about this, and let's allow, because most of these systems you're calling comes from the constitution. I mean, is it Twitter that is going to change it for you? It's not the lawmakers.
So I think you've been speaking to the fact of Twitter so much, and I think that's like the
that is
ideology
the
most
people.
of you guys have had.
Those are the loudest.
That being said,
and that is what everybody's going to know.
That's being said.
I mean, this is going to be posted on the internet. People on Twitter are going to watch it, and they're going to have opinions on YouTube.
The point I'm trying to make is there's something very particular about you guys who think feminism.
Please don't call me guys. You don't know me. You're meeting me for the first time.
You guys, that means the spectrum, like all of you as a whole, you and your team and everybody online that believe feminism is a problem. Do you know one beautiful thing about you? You really are a smart mouth, and you really think you're really, really smart. Meanwhile, you are the empty barrel who makes the loudest noise.
Time up.
I'm coming somewhere.
Time
No, like,
up.
I'm really interested in
Yeah,
I want us to get something. I want us to get something. My name is Kunke. I am currently in school, I really consider myself to be like an averagely intelligent person, and I believe every intelligent person should be a feminist. It's all those kind of, very loud people. Their opinions, it's not like they're entirely stupid, but it's just that their opinions are always so restricted. He's an intelligent person, I would give him that, but he lacks a particular tool that he can use to mobilize his intelligence, which is logic. So I don't know, maybe because I study law, and the first thing they'll do in law is they'll teach you logic. You'll be able to apply logic into every single thing. The boy does not apply logic into every single thing, and I think he's very opinionated.
Let me just say this. Feminists are the most analogical people on the planet, okay? That's all I'm going to say.
Just a loud mouth, and he lacks social cue, social etiquette.
Our next prompt is: abortion is a fundamental human right. Men should have no say in it. 3, 2, 1, go. Salama and Rudiment, you are the fastest fingers. Please take the podiums.
Do you agree or disagree?
I disagree.
You disagree?
It is not.
Are you the one carrying the pregnancy?
Are you the one that put it there?
So it's by putting it there. So are you saying you want to have control over a woman's body just because you got her pregnant?
You don't own it.
Who owns it?
You don't.
Who owns it?
You don't own your body
Who
completely.
owns the body? You're not answering the question. If I don't own my body, who owns my body?
Okay,
Do you own your body?
Hold on. I don't own my body completely.
So who owns your body?
You're accountable to some persons.
Who is the person you're accountable to?
Okay, let me ask you a
When
question.
you die, does anybody die with you?
Let me ask
Do they
you a
bury another
question.
person in the
Let
casket?
me ask you a question. If there is a curfew and you're told not to come out by 12, you own your body, can you come out?
I would come out if there's a need for me to. And if I do come out and something happens to me, I bear the consequences.
You can't come out. Abortion is murder.
Murder by
Yes,
who?
it is.
Do you use condoms when you have sex?
That is private. You can't ask me.
How is that private? How
can't ask
is
me that.
abortion not private, but condoms when you're having sex is
Why
private?
are you asking me? So
Why is
tell
it
me
because
if
you have a
I'm
certain perception you want people to have of you,
I'm
and you don't want them to have
telling
that?
you that's an abortion because that's the living thing inside of you.
Oh my God,
So I have
really?
a say. I actually put it inside of you.
Oh my God,
Yes.
really?
Did you
So
form
if
the
you say
baby yourself?
so if you say I shouldn't terminate the pregnancy, I should leave it.
Why would you terminate a
I
baby?
wouldn't even want you to be the father to my child, so I wouldn't even tell you jack shit. You have
I
nothing
really
with
can't
the
tell
pregnancy.
what lives inside
Aside
of
from
you,
your
I can
sperm,
tell.
you can tell what lives in me. Let me guess, Jezebel.
I
Or
can-
what? Tell me what lives inside of me.
You don't talk as though you want to pass a message. You are here to fight. We are not
Oh, I'm
fighting.
here to fight. Let me tell you something. You have no control over what a woman decides to do
I
with
do.
her body. The moment you realize
Stay
that,
in your father's house. Why are you getting
what
married?
the fuck are you?
Stay in your father's
What
house.
the fuck are you?
My name is Paul Rudiment.
Why would man, you are
Yes.
a bloody fool. Get out. You're a bloody fool. What the fuck are you staying in your father's house? What the fuck are you? Do you have a house? Look at how you're dressed. Do you have a fucking house? What the fuck are you? Fuck off.
Yeah, that's crazy. This. Oh, see, I said it before, If in the man's world, he would have got slapped, punched in the face, or better yet, they'd have to bring security to not let them get, among. And matter of fact, it may not happen at this location, but once they leave that building, it's going down. They're gonna have to keep them apart, or whenever they see each other later on in life, It might go down, or it might, they might talk it out, but you never know. For a woman to talk like that and disrespect a man like that over a conversation that they're having publicly to bring peace, to me, she's not trying to bring peace. She's trying to bring war. She don't want peace. She want war. She don't care about the humanity perspective. And I guarantee you, she's a Christian. She's a rib of a man. She should honor men. It doesn't matter where the man come from. I'm not saying she got to be with him, but she have to show him some kind of respect. And if the same thing goes for me, I'm going to say this again. If another man was to walk in my presence, or any other man's presence, I'm assuming, yeah, he might show some toughness, but you should really know that if you don't want that beef, chill. Because you're going to get trash. I am not going to challenge Mike Tyson knowing that this dude can murder me, bro. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to keep... He tell me... If he say, yo, you're getting loud, I'm bringing the tone down. I'm talking like a mice. Because I know... Well, that's kind of funny because he do talk like a mice. But I'm going to slow my tone down. I'm bring my tone down. Because I don't want no beef with him. She don't want peace, man. She want problems. She's a true feminist, bro. I give her credit for that, though. She how should say? She gang. Yep. She in a feminist gang. She on it. She's a feminist gang to 100. She ain't playing no games.
I feel like that's so childish. She has really shown me who she really is. And I won't want to be so extra enough to refer to those that trained her. Probably people that trained her were actually good people. She learned that from some couple of friends or whatever she's driven by. Being rude, being lousy. It's actually the first time somebody will insult me on camera. And sometimes in a conversation like this, it's about the person, not even the topic. I appreciate myself for being so mature enough to stay calm, because I know what that will result to. I mean, no woman can look me to the face. No woman. No woman. Because if I don't insult you, you have no right to do that. And when you insult me, you know what that means. I mean, there's a repercussion for it. He sent her back to her father's house. Why will you do that? If it was me, you wouldn't do that. You used innuendo to imply the fact that somebody does not have a house, and she took it. She's asking you the obvious, which clearly you can't work out. Later, you will go on Twitter. Women are very emotional. Women shouldn't handle this leadership role because they're emotional and blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, you're the one who cannot even handle common debate.
I know how I can be. So I came here knowing fully well that these are very sensitive topics. I would trigger somebody.
They're not holding themselves accountable.
So for the longest time, I've actually struggled with my opinion on abortion, because it is 9 months of their life, right? Yes, it takes a man and a woman to have a child, but it takes 5 minutes to ejaculate. Exactly. And it takes 9 months to carry. It takes less than that for some people. In a marriage, right? So, I mean, you're already married, so I think the idea is that if you're married, you want to have kids. You guys have already discussed it, right? So if you're pregnant, then it means you probably won't want to keep that child. But let's assume that it was a mistake, right? And you don't want to keep that child. I think, you should still have the conversation.
Hold on. GD, you've been voted out by your teammates. Please speak in your opponent.
Yes. Yes, so in a marriage, when one is pregnant, there is a conversation to be had. However, it should fall mostly to the woman, because that is, like I said, 9 months of her life. Childbearing obviously lies more on the woman. It is selfish of a man to consider himself first over a pregnant woman, because while it hurts you that you might not have that child, right, it won't hurt you as much as it hurts the woman who doesn't want to have that child, because that's a whole 9 months.
We agree on a lot of the same when it comes to abortion. The only thing I don't believe is that it shouldn't be used as a form of contraceptive. It's completely the woman's prerogative. Men should keep their mouths out of it, because it has nothing to do with them.
Agree.
We do agree. Yes. I feel like talking has brought us as far as it can bring us. What else can we do?
I don't think so.
Speak?
They brought us this far
Yes.
because you're here, right?
Yes. And there's nothing that you can do
Great.
right now that I'm not.
And I think that's right. What I think is we are still living in a very male-dominated society, right?
Yes.
In Nigeria, how many lawmakers we have? Mostly
Who is
men.
going to dominate it? Men. They'll see their
Hold
power.
on. This is why we're having this conversation. Because
we've had enough.
Please, you've been voted out by your teammates. Nia, pick a new opponent.
We've had 4 waves of feminism. At each point, the feminists have come to discuss what has been happening at that point in time. So the second wave has come to,
Man, they got rid of that feminist thing so fast.
We are still talking about it because people still don't understand the concept.
Pause. Nia, you've been voted out by your teammates. Sharon, please pick a new opponent.
My name is Nia. I am a writer and a publicist. I would call myself pro-female anti-feminist because my own is about actually moving the gender forward. We agree on a lot of the core issues. What we disagree on is the approach to solving these issues. I don't believe that talking about it and villainizing men is the answer. I don't believe that replacing the patriarchy with a matriarchy, another imbalance, it's talked out at this point. I feel like we've evolved beyond the point where talking can still do anything. The first wave, the second wave, they fought for our rights to vote, to own property, to do all of that. Now we have that. Now it's time to use those rights. Women also have a part to play beyond just outrage.
I don't think we can talk about something too much. While we're talking about it, there are people on the field also doing some work, right? Because the enlightenment is very, very, very important. Hi. So do you agree with the prompt? Should men have a say in abortion?
Of course, yes.
Why?
Do you agree husbands and wife are partners?
Yeah, they're partners.
So, if we are partners, forming a child biologically is a joint effort. Do you agree?
Okay, yeah.
So, if we have a joint account, does that imply that you have a say in that money and I also have a say?
First off, I think it is highly disrespectful
Answer me.
to call a woman's body to relate it to an account.
I'm trying
Let's
to...
start with that. And also, I think it's a flawed argument to only relate abortion or pregnancy in the concept of marriage.
Okay, so I'm just going to say this real quick.
Because it happens outside of
I'll
it
say
as
this
well.
real quick while you continue.
Okay.
What makes a conversation more educative is that when someone is talking, you want to get what the person is really saying.
The thing now I'm saying is, even in that conversation, we correct certain terms that are used. Even if you're making an example, let us be sensitive about it.
Can you at least just answer me? So listen to my nonsense.
No, I don't agree. You cannot relate a woman's body to an account. No.
Then I don't think we have anything to say.
You can use another example. You can use something else to relay your message. But then liking a woman's body to a bank account, a joint bank account, that's very demeaning. He wouldn't call a man's body a joint bank account. So why do that to a woman? I know people might say, oh, yeah, do you...
Oh my God. This is why sometimes you just can't listen to, some women when they talk. Like you gotta when you're ready to listen, when you're ready to really have a conversation, come back. But right now you're not ready. How you gonna say he gave it the example and he said if the man and the woman have a bank account, he's not saying if the woman have a bank account. He's saying if the man and the woman. So they both have a stake in the bank account. He's speaking about the body. Like he's comparing the egg and the sperm as an equal opportunity. Meaning, he have the sperm, the seed, you have the egg. In order for you to get your egg to evolve, guess what he have to do? Give you his seed. It's the same terminology for the bank. If he have money, if you're working and he working, both of you could put money in the bank. In order for the bank to double its money and its income, both of you have to put money in the bank account. If you take the money out by yourself, all the money that you're here putting together, but you decide to take all the money, what does that say? That's unfair. That's the point he was trying to make.
Too much is not that deep, but it is very deep.
I only asked a question. So question, just answer me, then I go ahead.
Pause! Rudiment, you've been voted out by your teammates.
The baby inside of you was put in there by me. The only reason I feel like you can do an abortion is if it's at the expense of your life. That's the only reason that I can take and that I feel like is sensible. Originally, when God created man and woman, is to go and multiply. If you don't want to have kids, don't have sex. They are objects you can use to satisfy yourself. Now you are pregnant, you are telling me.
Facts. If you don't want to have children, don't have sex. I mean, become a lesbian and be with lesbians only, if that's the case. But you can't have sex with males. You can't use no male sperms, no males, nothing that the males produce that can bring child. You know, you can't use it. I mean, I guess she could go to synthetic, she could go to science. But even in science, if you're going to use a male body part, a human body part, you're still using the opposite sex to impregnate it, because unless listen, if it's not 100% synthetic, 100%, then it's still part of a human. You're still using some kind of part of a human DNA to create that child. But he is right, though. If you don't want to have babies by a male, or if you don't want to give the respect to the male to have part of your body to make decisions of having the baby, don't have sex. I mean, I know people are going to push back on me on this, but if my sperm get inside a female, I do believe I have rights to that child. It's also mine. You know, that's like she's saying, I want your sperm, and she have rights to it. What if, okay, for example, let's say she's my girl, and she want to have a baby, but I always pull out, or, you know, I don't pregnant, I always use a condom. But then I go to another female while I'm in this relationship, and I give this other female a child willingly. I bet you the woman gonna feel bad. She's gonna feel horrible. She's gonna say, how come you don't want to give me a kid, but you give her a kid? When you with me, you use a condom, or you got a strong puller game or whatever. But when you with her, you raw dog and just emptied it. What's the deal? That woman she probably gonna try to kill you. She probably gonna lose her mind, because first thing she gonna say is like, why her, not me? So that's the unfair thing, and that's what he's saying. It's the same thing. If my sperm go inside of you my wife, I'm entitled to that baby. Now, if it's some one night stand, or if it's some kind of like hookup situation, then I would say, okay, maybe, you know, it's her decision. You know, whatever she wants to do. Because I didn't really. I mean, he still have a right. Don't get me wrong. He still have a right, because his sperm. But you know, they have to come to a conversation at that point. But in a committed relationship, though, oh no, the man do have a say. He do have a point. Even if they come to a disagreement, the point is they had a conversation. That's the point. All right, let's move on.
It's your decision. It is our decision to have kids, to put it there, but it's your decision to take it out.
Pick a new opponent.
It's not her decision to take it out.
I fundamentally disagree with the whole men shouldn't have a say. Agree with the whole men should have. Yeah. But I think the point he is trying to make is in the context of a marriage. Yeah. I feel like there should still be a conversation had between both of them. Yeah. The final decision should be the woman.
Definitely. I agree with that completely.
Okay.
Yes, so both of them should have the conversation, because the woman alone cannot conceive the child, or
and then just go and get it aborted. That's not.
Fundamentally, it is the woman's choice, because it is her body.
Yes.
So I agree with that. Yeah.
Nia, you were voted out.
All right. So for the most part, I do agree with you, and I feel like a woman body should not compare to a bank account, right? I definitely agree with that. So the way we are debating this thing looks like, in a context of you're in a relationship with someone, you're shouting at them, you're yelling at them. I mean, people are sensible out there, right? With conversations, people will be able to say, I think, I want to keep the child. I don't want to keep the child. I mean, we have both decent conversations. Everybody is an adult here.
Okay, I think we're saying the same thing.
100%.
But then the point here is that...
But they
I agree with that. But why we're saying that the man cannot have a say in whether what she decides to do is because it is her body.
I think that's wrong.
Why is it wrong?
That's wrong, but time up.
Time up. Our next prompt is, feminism is not our culture and is ruining romantic relationship, especially in Nigeria. 3, 2, 1, go. Fintan and GD,
You're taking
the
on
fastest
a Western
fingers.
culture behavior.
I would say that it's true that it's not the culture. I can't determine if it's really a romantic relationship. I feel like factors play into things, right? At the end of the day, you can't just say feminism is a core thing that is ruining a romantic relationship. But I mean, it's not the culture.
I don't agree. So here, first of all, feminism is not a culture. It is an ideology. The Westerners, just because you heard it from them, doesn't mean that there weren't women in Nigeria.
And they call themselves feminists.
Forget about the
I can't forget about that.
It's like I said, it is an ideology.
Hold on.
There are women in Nigeria, right, who did not subscribe. Are you arguing that the word is the issue, or that the ideology is not important? Like, what's
Fintan, you've been voted out. GD, pick a new opponent.
I really appreciate this guy so much. He called me a smart the last time. So I love to be a smart. I'm actually real smart.
Before we continue, I really do think we're beginning to get very personal, and I want to apologize openly here for calling for insulting you. And I'll try my best.
No, as a compliment. Thank you so much.
It's fine. I'm just trying to get us.
Now, that was respect right there, because that's men meeting men, right? Because outside of the building, that could be personal. The female need to apologize as well. I want to hit something that he said too. The Western world, feminism have nothing to do with any place else but here. Yes, even though it might affect them in some key points, right? Which is mostly like, actually, it just don't. It really just don't, right? Because, like I said, up here, it's, they talk about work and all this different stuff. In other countries, women always work. You know what I'm saying? And then again, in a large number, women don't want to work. They will quit their jobs or whatever the case is. So, feminism is morely a Western thing, not a everywhere thing. And I think that when countries see America doing their thing, they should stay out of it. They should just stay out of it. That's it, simple, stay out of it.
On the same level, conversation revolving feminism is something that is very passionate for me. I think what angered you earlier was I
was not angry. You complimented me. Why would I be angry?
Take by me. See,
I'm not angry. I said I took it as a compliment.
Let me talk.
Go ahead.
Hey, Joe. But again, as I was saying, I think the thing that triggered you, that made you kept
I was not triggered. Don't use those words.
Allow me speak. I kept on referring to your team member as you guys, and I want to speak to them too, not you in particular. So I want to keep on using an umbrella for people who support your views.
I mean, you don't know my total stance and views.
Hey,
you've not had that.
Jesus Christ of Nazareth.
You've not had that.
See, another question.
Okay, but anyways, let's continue. Thank you. Please go. Next person.
What?
I'm telling you, I don't take this as an insult. I wish you just stopped and went ahead, where I was trying to always revert back. And I'm like, I'm cool with it, right? So I wouldn't not let him frame the narrative as he wants to, because for me, I see that as a compliment, and I really appreciate it.
I have taken sociology in class, and I understand so many social concepts. So when I see people say stuff like something is not cultural, at what point does something becomes cultural? Do you know what culture is? Culture is a way of life. So if something has been done over a decade, over so many decades, please, who do you want to come and give you an accolade? Igwe, this thing should be part of these people. Now, what I'm trying to say is, at this point, feminism is not cultural in Nigeria.
It is?
Yeah, it is.
But it's still largely patriarchal.
What is called? It's still
patriarchy is still the
dominating culture and the
Even in
prevailing
America, where
presence in
feminism
Nigeria.
started from, and in the West, where feminism started from, patriarchy still exists. Still
The
very
ratio
much
is very
exists.
different.
Yeah, exactly. And there are so many things in America that the ratio is very different. Homophobia, for once, misogyny itself, political
But if you're listing
awareness, and
homophobic
all of
countries,
that.
you're probably not going to mention America.
Like, exactly, that's the point I'm trying to make. But like, America is still largely homophobic. It's not one of the progressive.
Largely?
Yeah, we're like a developing country now. So we learned a lot of things, basically. So at what point do we now say, okay, this thing is cultural? You're going to somebody.
Is feminism cultural? No, I don't think it is in Nigeria. I don't think we've gotten to that point yet. Okay. It's still largely patriarchal. Is it affecting relationships? In a sense, 50-50, all of that. I feel like these were brain children of very hardcore feminists. Don't open our doors, don't give us flowers. It's now perceived as the men trying to do too much, or love bombing, I think is the word. It has affected the way we relate with men. The general gender war thing, yeah, I think that also affects relationships and romance and all of that. So yes.
You made a lot of fantastic points, but I'll say something. Feminism has existed in Africa, in Nigeria, since time immemorial, before the word even became mainstream here. We had the Aba Women's Riots. Women came out naked to fight for their rights. We have Funmilayo Ransome Kuti fighting for political rights of women. We have Chimamanda right now. We have other feminists right now. So from time immemorial, feminism has been a thing here. So saying feminism is just a Western thing is very flawed.
No, I don't believe it's just a Western thing.
Yeah, our cultural views do not necessarily align with the feminist views. But then feminism has existed in Nigeria even before the label has come.
No, I don't think it's ingrained enough, at least maybe until now, for it to say it's part of African culture.
So feminism is not coming here to say, men, you go, or women, you be on top. Feminism is fighting for the political, economic, and social equality of both sexes.
Beautiful. I love that you mentioned political.
Yes.
Now, this is what I've been saying about talking. Now, we're talking about doing now. Every time there's an election, how many women typically come out to run for office? Technically, on paper, we can run for the same offices that men can, but do we?
There's a reason for that. There's a reason for that.
Why feminism exists to eradicate
Please,
that.
Sharon, pick a new opponent.
Okay, so I didn't discuss the other part of the prompt, which says it is destroying romantic relationships. The patriarchy itself, as long as it suppresses women, it suppresses men as well, because it imposes unrealistic roles, unrealistic expectations of men. Or as a man, don't cry. Or as a man, you cannot be too emotional. Or as a man, don't do this, don't do that. But feminism is here to say you can breathe.
Are you saying feminism is in support of men?
Yes. Both sexes, that is the point here. I know that we have strayed at some point, people have strayed, but then the main essence here is that it is here to fight for the equality of both sexes.
You say that feminism is fighting for equality.
Yeah.
What feminism is fighting for now is superiority. It's fighting for the upper hand. It's fighting for authority. Something that you were all against before, that, oh, men are the one leaders, are all of this. But now what feminists want is to be at the top and men to be down.
I understand what you're saying, that there are narratives out there, oh, men should be lower, women should be higher. No, we can both exist in the same space, right, and respect each other. That's what we're here to do.
But culturally, feminism was never ever part of the Nigerian system.
No, feminism has always been in existence.
It has never. It wasn't tagged feminism.
Exactly, before the war became mainstream. But it
Sharon,
has existed.
you were voted out.
I school in the north, so I still witness a lot of, child marriage.
So I'm gonna probably play a few more minutes of this, and then I'm gonna end it. But let me. I hate it. Like this insults me, man, because this is supposed to be the mainland, right? And I'm a big fan of Africa to be an actual continent, not a. I mean, when I say a continent, a country, not a continent with different countries on it. With the whole feminist talk, like I said, they're copying the Western world type ideology. Now I'm going to take it a little deeper. All of them, I would say all of them, I don't think they even know who they really are anyway. They all just like us in America, in the Caribbean, we are all a product of brainwashing mentality due to slavery. We don't have no deep understanding or deep rooted or any structural concrete blueprint of our ancestors of what they live or what they used to live or how they live before slavery. And I'm talking about also the Arabic slave trade as well. We have come across some stories and some information to give us some insight. In some cases, we would say we have some tribal people back in Africa that symbolize the history, what it was. But that's yes, they are still there, but that was not the entire race because you had those people that's there now that have you know that have some rooted symbolism. They tend to hold on to the old age mentality because the new age is scary for them. But you had the other group of people that was actually evolving and building monuments and stuff like that to also grow into the modern age. But those people are dead, those people was dead, those people got killed. And the children of those people is who we are. So when you should talk about feminists being back way back when, what I would say is this: just like America, just like the Bible understanding, if we eliminate the Bible and we just go based on the rooted information without the Bible, any country had the same structure. It doesn't matter where you are on this planet. There's a nature, there's a by nature way of you to live. This comes before any biblical point of view, and that structure was. I mean, we don't know how human beings are created. We don't know. Nobody have any blueprint for that, right? But what we do know, we are human beings, and based on the science studies and common sense and logic and all these historical things that we can point back to, the basic understanding for humans, and then we also use the animals as well to symbolize those ideas and understanding. The basis design for humans is father, mother, and children. The father or the male take on more drastic, heavy, risky jobs, while the mother take on the lesser or the offspring of what the man did, and she takes the back end of what the man did, so she do the easy part. And then from the mother it goes to the children. Now when it comes to the children, the father did generally do the discipline, the stone talking, to the encouragement to become better and stronger, and also influence the boys to repeat those roles. On the female side, I mean, the male, don't get it wrong, the male also deal with the female as well by keeping her grounded. Of course, she got to be punished if that's the case, but also to keep her in a feminine state of mind. On the mother's side, her job is to raise the daughter in the same concept as the son, but in the sense of a female point of view. Now, what I will say though, that we don't do and we should be doing it, is not have the boys and girls together all the time. Even if they live in the same house, there's moments where the boy should be doing his own thing and the girl should be doing her own thing. Because what that does is, it depends on how close they are together, it can build up a relationship amongst the boys. The other part to it is, she could lose her job. Because the kids, you don't want the kids, messing up in school and all this stuff, and she might have to quit her job to be a homemade teacher or something like that. And like I said, that's how the triple effect works. And then the male maintain logic and structure, order in the house, while the woman contain the structure and order in the house, and then raise those children those values, and of course, like I said, you teach them how to dress and all that good stuff. So that's the general scope of what the basic standard is for humans in terms of relationship, man, woman, and children. It's crazy.
Age, female
The funny thing is, in the Bible, they say Adam had to bathe children, but I mean, you don't know she had a belly button.
genital mutilation still happens in some of these rural areas. We need to keep, going into these areas and changing these things and, making sure that things are better. So it's a gradual process.
Moyege, pick a new person to
Wait,
debate.
very quickly, I want to touch on the second point. I honestly believe that feminism has helped marriages and relationships, and it has helped women like you, right, to escape terrible marriages. If you look in the past, right, you could say, our marriages used to last, blah, 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 blah. It wasn't lasting because everybody was happy. It was lasting because the women had no choice. If you're financially tied to your husband, everything about you is to your husband, right? Obviously, if he's not acting right, where would you go? Your father's house? No. And even if you go to your father's house, the society views divorced women. Even today, in the 21st century, on Twitter, once they say single mom, all the men on Twitter were like, ooh, like same battle. Imagine back then, as people where you think they will leave their husband and go home. So it has helped. The only people that will say no are men, right, who have benefited from being in that marriage.
In the Yoruba culture, women still have rights. Women have a say. Women are not shut down. I don't know of other culture. Women still talk.
Are you saying that in the past, right, a woman gets married to a man, right, he's abusing her, he's beating her, right, she would happily divorce him in the 1901s.
I am not saying
she would happily divorce her husband and go back to her father's house.
I'm not saying that. I don't have a full knowledge of something like that happening. That what I'm just saying is that right from time you have Oloris, you have all of that. Okay. So women were given rights to
just one question. Right now, would you encourage someone you know to leave a toxic marriage?
Yes, I would.
If this was 1902, right? Okay. Do you think that your answer that you would have convinced that same friend to leave her husband?
So
do you even think you would even...
Prompt is men and women will never be truly equal. 3, 2, 1, go. GD and Kunke, please step forward and take the podium.
I hope this one can be a very decent conversation. But short thing, what I believe in is equity, right? I don't ever believe that we've never as humans achieved 50-50 in anything.
What do you think equity is?
Same access to opportunities, same access to every single thing, but it does not determine the outcome. So we go as high as saying the data that, we have underrepresentation of women in so and so. How about we look at the underrepresentation from the standpoint where people actually vie for those positions? I mean, if people are vying and they're not getting it, then we can say, okay, there's actually deep bias entrenched in the system.
You were saying they do not vie for this position. They do. Newsflash, they actually do. Not only do they apply for these positions, they are really, really competent, even more competent than the
Never be equal. If you're preaching equality, you should talk.
Judged based on our capabilities.
Give more value, but
that's what I'm saying. We are judged based on our capabilities, not based on gender. We are given the job, not abilities. It's okay. I get that the extremists have, maybe put it.
All right, so this is the end of the show. It was a good show. I really enjoyed it. You guys can subscribe to Join the Cruise. It's a really good show, a really good channel. It's in Nigeria as well. But like I said, I can't really take a lot what they said news. I mean, you could tell the difference between the ones who actually uphold the nature, the whole logic versus the other. But they got a lot of work to do. Hopefully they're not fully indoctrinated like America is, but they got a lot of work to do. Anyway, subscribe, let you guys know what you think. Do not forget to like and subscribe, and you can leave me a message as well. If y'all wanted to talk, you could have sent me in a request. I will be able to bring you guys up and so forth. All right, so from here, man, nice piece work. Talk to you guys in the next one.